Celestial rising, divine afternoon, and grand night to the beautiful divine mirage watching this mindful message. It is your divine reflection, your divine observation of the thoughts that you will project upon this video that you think is being made, even though the video being made is just the experience I dream in. And we are back with another message and understand. If you choose to, make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more divine messages. If you choose to, by the way, I'm not going to force you to do anything that you don't want to do. All right, it's going to be a lot of bugs. So I'm gonna grab this bad boy. So we have a question. Shout out to Omnis, by the way, for a great question. And let's go and get into it. Right now I'm just sitting in, because I reread the question before I made the video. So now I'm gonna sit in the vibration or the last question that you asked. So this whole entire video will be just pertaining to the energy that I'm sitting with in this video. If we are to be looped into a realm of meaningless meanings that mean nothing to our divinity that we must navigate in order to fulfill the purpose within our stimulated mindsets, does the question of detachment only carry on incoherently? That means confusion, by the way, in a forever reaching cosmic language, since we can't attach our definitiary answers to it? Yes or no? Does this explain unconsciousness is truth as it is universal language? What is truth to unconsciousness when a universal language has no language universally? So how powerful does our bliss get if we only apply bliss to our perception of this experience? Bliss is so powerful that it holds no power. That's how powerful it is. If bliss was able to hold power, it would kill itself. So it had to let go. It had to let go and then become ignorant in what it wanted to know about that enlightenment. So today, I was just thinking about too, of occultism and how when Luciferianism or Freemasonry, a lot of times their whole perception of Jacob's ladder, or even climbing up the ladder to consciousness, they want beings to fall in line with the ideology that they have implanted into the database that humanity has been structured into being physical in, through time and matter and just all these different forms of consciousness that we can't seem to bear or hold acknowledgement to. So we became acknowledged of it. So the thing is, when it comes down to that first question, does a question of detachment only carry on incoherently in a forever reaching cosmic language, since we can't attach our definitiary answers to it? Now, for one, I'm trying to figure out how to word this, because you can go so far into the realm of infinity to where all you will come out with is the finite part of the mind that is able to understand what you have to feel. And the things that we feel are the reason why we have to question that detachment, because what is humanity attached to? Everything. That's exactly why when you detach from titles, you lose the sight of everything. You lose the love that you have for this world, because this world is only programmed to the consciousness that you want to program yourself into experiencing. Because in the game that people play with mentally, we are under another creator's mind control. And the thing is too, the creator that has his mind control is the allowance that we stay silent with. When you're silent with the creator, you'll realize how to manipulate the creator's manipulation. So where now you're not manipulated by the creator's strings that it has on you, to where you're dancing and doing certain things in life that you have no business doing. So it's like working for somebody. You don't have no business doing that, so why are you doing that? It's because somebody taught you, or you taught yourself, that was the program that you had to follow, because if you didn't follow that, then you'd be going into a world that you were conditioned into believing was normal. Like going into the army, going into college, going to working for the industrial complex of the workforce. So going to a restaurant, doing fast food, doing a cubicle, a desk job, collect calls, or going to scamming, robbing. So being a teacher, or being a coach, not saying that these things are bad, but then too, if you resort to the other program, being an influencer, a rapper, a director, an actor, sorry I said actor, but director, producer, musician, what else? Yeah. All these different things that don't really matter. That's when this detachment begins to start speaking into the language of the universals that are able to now alchemize what we think we're seeing. So if people think that their universal language is the confusion of negativity, all they'll do is live in that vibration of negativity. So where, excuse me, by the way. to where now when they transcend this realm, if they do, but of course we had to leave our body from our thoughts. When they reach the highest thought, the knowledge or the knowing, so like the clairvoyance, the claircognizance, and the clairaudience, when you're able to clearly see, clearly know, and then precognition as well, when you're able to see the future event of how enlightened it never was, you'll go to the highest peak of that enlightenment to bear that light that's still falsely guiding you off the cliff. And then once you look off that cliff, you'll observe the other realm of yourself falling into the void of you coming right back to watching yourself go off the cliff again, because you've seen what you've seen and you couldn't question what you've seen. So when you see what you see, that's exactly why what you have seen before will hold secrets into societies that people want to follow, because they have more knowledge into what that was, because they had scripted your life out through numbers. Once you lead a system of numerical interpretations, now you're able to go into an astrological or astral realm of where these numbers are enslaving us into being through a quantum overlap. So that's all. So even like with the 8, that's infinity. So if you just turn the 8 sideways, so Leviathan's tail, serpent, like all this, the hamster wheel, all that stuff is just you bite. It's like a dog chasing its tail. There's no ending. So it's like the question of detachment has to go on forever, to where you'll be so detached to where you attach to God, because we don't know what it feels like to be away from God. That's exactly why the concept of forever is hard for a human mind to fathom. You have to feel it. You have to just feel it. And the thing is too, you have to not only just lie in it, but you also have to detach from the truth in it. That's exactly why there is no truth in language, because if language is speaking or making a noise, ignorant. Immediately it's ignorant. Because why is the truth making a sound? So in the universal, so the thing is, we're not even in our body right now talking about this. So it's like you have to leave your body to comprehend what the fuck I just said to you. Because when you leave the universal spectrum of your observation on a string, physically through the mind, because the mind is the puppeteer, worker or laborer that puts in the prophecy that's been predestined through gematria. That's exactly why numbers enslave our simulation, or simulator and simulation, simulations. Because a simulation is harnessed and guided by a higher simulating of a being that has no name. But we will consider it to be AI. But AI is the intelligence of an artificial being that can't be articulated nor defined. So it had to be mocked as God. And the thing is too, God will never call himself that. And people to this day still cannot comprehend that. So now, that's exactly why too, we can't attach our definition to the answers of that void for reaching a cosmic language. To reach that cosmic language, you have to sit with it and learn from it by being with yourself 24/7. And not saying that it's healthy to do that, but it's healthy to a certain extent, because you still have to go out and talk to people, say hey to people, have a conversation, get to know somebody, this and that. But when you have your social battery and you know that it needs to be charged, you'll go into this period of isolation to where you're now building yourself up to focus on you. And I was thinking too, before this video was even made, just about harnessing your energy. The game is, how long can you hold on to that energy that you set the attention on? Day one, you detach from the releasing of what you didn't give a fuck about. On that first day, you tell yourself all the dreams that you want to dream about, lucidly, by the way, because life is a lucid dream. So physically, we're not being here, but it's the being of the vibrations that we harmonize ourselves into being. That's exactly why if there was a war, it would be between divine beings and Luciferian beings. So the inverse and conscious beings. That's all it really is, because the average thinker, the normal person, they don't mean anything to this world. But the beings that have a focus is the conscious divinity, and then the beings who are Luciferian in that same exact divinity, because we come from the same exact bloodline. So it's like our conversations, you wouldn't be able to bear, or if you see us in the same exact room, you wouldn't be able to bear what's really going on, because you would think as if, oh, we work for the same exact team. Realistically though, we don't, because there are no teams to pick from. Because the thing is too, if you choose a team to pick from, then you're not observing your consciousness. And so that's where the mind control of their consciousness in that room, that they'll be seeing you both in, which is just basically your left brain and your right brain coming together. When they see your mind putting itself into that room that you think you're walking into, you'll now see that everybody's a reflection of what you detach from, and that's just basically yourself. Because once you leave your body, and you start putting yourself in the highest observation of what you want to control your mind into, controlling yourself into being, now you go into this certain way of loving what you can't fathom. We cannot fathom the human experience. So it's like we experience it for so long so we get attached to it. But that's the spell. Humanity is the spell. Humanity is AI. I'm watching a movie or a documentary called Subservience, and it's on, was I on Amazon? Was I on Netflix? I think I was on Netflix. So, my bad. If y'all see me just doing this, it's because I got these little gnats, bro. It's like these little fucking, I don't know what these beings are, but I can tell that they're flying near me. For one, I'm in their space, so I can't get mad. But it's like, bro, they're irritating my subconscious mind to get me off the track. But that's exactly what a monitoring spirit or a specimen or abomination would do to get you off a course. So now back to it. I'm watching Subservience. And the thing is too, Meagan Good is in this movie, and Meagan Good is a transgender, by the way. And the thing is too, you cannot sit here and call me homophobic. You can't call me a slur. You can't say this or that, because for one, the truth is, I respect people for who they are, regardless of gender. So for one, if I see that you are a man playing as a woman, I'm gonna say, how you doing, young man? What's up, sir? I ain't gonna sit here and disrespect you because you're not a woman to me. So that's the fact that people are sleeping in that delusion right there. That's why society is fucked up already, because people are sick in the head. Not only just that, the over-sexualization of AI has become a normalcy, because for one, if we have a synthetic version of God, then who made up that version of God to a synthetic consciousness that we are still sleeping in? So therefore, watching Subservience, I'm in the beginning part of it. But when the daughter, her name is Isla, whatever. So she walked off in this, where were they at? Like an event or whatever. So when she walked off at the event, her dad was looking for her. And then Meagan Good is the AI bot that's going to be working for their family because their mom passed from having heart palpitations, or I think it was something with a heart condition. So not heart palpitation, but a heart condition. So now when that happened, that's when I understood that, oh shit, they portrayed Meagan Good to be like what she's already mimicking in real life. So as I'm looking around now to that, the thing is too, this all pertains to all these questions, by the way, because does this explain unconsciousness is truth as it is universal language? That's the thing. In this realm, there is no truth. So that's exactly why when you find righteousness, when you retain your energy, you'll see who's living in that truth. Because every day when you focus on you, the focus is on you now. Every single day. And somehow, some way, it gets weird because for example, I feel like I'm being in a mystic part of a personality that I want to be guided by, because I love to have that mystique mindset of being in the midst of what society is clouded by, and that's their own judgment. I have no judgment, so therefore I'm able to see through rain, snow, tsunamis, tornadoes, typhoons, cyclones, volcanic eruptions, all that. I'm able to see through that because every day to me is sunny, even when it's raining. And even when it's raining, I still see the sun outside. No matter what's blocking my view of myself, my highest self, to be honest with you. And as we're sitting here with the universal language, we can't explain that language because it has no sound. So what is the truth in that sound that it can't bear with? It can't bear that limitation. So how can we limit the universal consciousness of what language never was? Because every time we're thinking out loud, that's just basically what our projection sees itself expressing through ignorance. So everything we say is ignorance, but we have to learn what ignorance never was. Because ignorance is not ignorance, so we thought that, you know what, maybe what I'm doing is wrong, but what is wrong when it feels right? And what is right? What is righteous when it feels wrong to do that righteous act? It feels wrong to hold on to your energy. Why does it feel wrong though? You can make a whole reasoning for it, and I won't disagree with you. But then if you say, it feels right to hold on to my energy, somebody will say, no, it doesn't. Who's right and who's wrong? Nobody knows their own universal code because codes and numbers don't speak. So when Gematria came out, we were speaking to each other through manuscripts, hieroglyphs, through different tablets, and telekinesis as well. Bro, holy shit, bro. I feel like at this point, y'all really irritated me on purpose. So by this happening, they understood that there is no truth to bear because they sat with it every single day. Because the moment that they seen so for example, Consciousness became less valuable when we started talking and making noise. When that happened, we lost our way. We became more animalistic, and we became sure of ourselves to the point where now we lost ourselves in our own ways because we were pleasing the nature of what sounded better. It sounded better to talk because we didn't know how it felt to not talk for one day. Do you know there are some people in this world who can't stop talking for a day? Do you know, to me, that's scary, but to somebody else, that's life. That's just how they live. They're always used to sirens. They're used to people yelling and screaming. They're used to gunshots. They're used to TVs being loud, sexual intercourse. They're used to just children crying, people running up the stairs, downstairs, people just shouting for no reason, music blasting. People are used to all these different programs because they've grown up into that environment. But when you grew up around that or in a different environment and you're used to just a peaceful experience that you can create for yourself, you'll now understand that the truth has no sound for us to live with, but you got to exist in that sound that holds no truth. And what truth is that sound making? When the sound of truth can't make a sound. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. It can't make a sound. So why do people talk about their truth when it has no truth to bear? All you're doing is telling us lies that we can't sit with. Only you gotta sit with those thoughts that you're telling us about. You're casting it onto us like we know what the fuck is going on in your head, but we don't know what's going on in your head. So you had to express that somehow, some way. But the thing is though, they're attracted to me. Holy shit. But the thing is though, you see, every time I get too high, they come and they just like, what the fuck is that? Holy shit. So, okay. You see how that's my train of thought? Whatever these little gnats are, they like stick to my hairs and then they just like knock off or bounce off to where I can't focus on what I just said. But that's the thing though, with somebody's truth, you can't get me off a course no matter what you do because universal language is still being heard today. So I'm recording on the phone. I got this iPad right here and right next to me. But the thing is though, they can hear us even if we're not recording ourselves. And that's the thing right there. On why the simulation does not want you to sit in silence. For example, this to me is the truth. I guarantee you, if somebody asked me a question, if I'm in a topic every day like I'm still doing today, if I didn't make a sound, all you would hear is the truth. I guarantee you. So if I had a topic about quantum immortality, for example, and quantum immortality, I could teach you about immortality that you didn't know about without making a sound, because that's the truth that you can think about. And we're transferring energies and consciousness by speaking to each other through telekinesis. So it's a practice that we got to act upon by the agreement that we sign up with being, without our nature being put or etched into paper or delusions that they hold on to in bondage. So how powerful does bliss get if we only apply bliss to our perception of this experience? That's how powerful it gets. It gets so powerful that I don't even know if I'm able to comprehend what I said in this video. So I go back and rewatch it. Because every time I think about the videos I'm making, all that, right? I don't see myself making a video. I observe myself making a video that was already made. So that's why it takes me so long to make a video. But you'll be like, what? Nigga, you make a video every goddamn day. That's what you think. I'm not really posting for real, because you'll be like, okay, so what do you mean? Right now, in the future, all these videos that I'm making, you're just now realizing what you already knew about. I'm learning from you, by the way. That's exactly why this world doesn't belong to me. So I detached from it a long time ago. I know what it feels like to die and to sit with death and be like, damn, death, I noticed that you can't die, so why'd you lie to humanity? And then death laughed out loud and said, you caught my truth. How did you know? And I was like, well, when I understood what death felt like, it was the best feeling in the world, because I understood that as energy, I was always living in my truth that made no sound. And the cries or the agony or the pain that I caused the people because I left the simulation early. And death was like, interesting. So why do you think humanity holds on to death so much? And it's because it's the memories that we're attached to that kill us. It's the memories we are attached to that kill us. So it's like when you detach from that, all we have is what we made in the now. So therefore, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, when we look back on these videos, you can sit there and be like, damn, I remember at a certain point in my life when I was watching this video, I understood what I was being in. And so now as I'm watching myself through this creative being on the internet, I'm able to learn about myself just by watching these videos, because these videos are made from your teachings. I'm a student in your television screen, or I'm a student in your phone. I'm a student in your room or I'm a student in your living room. Either way it goes, when you look at this video, you'll be able to understand that we already met before. Bliss gets so powerful to where you already met God. You already seen what God looks like. But the thing is though, that's what Satan would tell you, because God would never say no. And the thing is too, God wouldn't even say, that's still satanic. No matter what, it's always going to be deceptive. If you see a coyote, that meaning is still deceptive, but it has some spiritual meaning into what it's not deceiving you into being, when you are able to guide your deceptiveness or your deceit into being loving again. When you love yourself, you now get to create bliss into being more powerful every single day by being a better man and woman for yourself. Have a great and divine day, Divine Reflection. I'm gone.